Live. Play it.
Okay, let's go.
Let's do that one more time because it was
Okay, let's
glitching.
go.
There we go. How's it going, everybody? This is a re-recording. Why do I have to re-record? Because last time my audio was turned all the way down on here. My microphone setup was trash. And then halfway through the stream and recording session, it cut out. So the audio was all jacked up, video was jacked up. I posted all of that onto Monday's restream, and then I even edited all of it up, and I posted the restream on Tuesday. So Wednesday, you're gonna get this. Monday midnight or Sunday, whatever. Monday midnight, this episode's gonna come up brand new, ready to go, edited, perfection. So Monday and Tuesday are fails. Wednesday is gonna be the restream of the good episode, and then Monday is the episode for everyone to listen to on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever else you get your podcast from. I'm also working on getting OBS set up so I can have transitions and audio effects and all that stuff, but that's going to be later. So let's get started with today's interesting fact for Mexico. I don't have any water. Oh well. So Mexico City is sinking. The huge capital sprawls out for miles, heaves with life, but many people don't know that it was actually built on a drained lake. This means that the city is constantly sinking, with some estimating that this drop is as much as 12 centimeters per year. Maybe not quite a fun fact about Mexico if you're living in the city, but an interesting one for sure. And I get all my facts from Kontiki.com. Or actually, I get it from various different websites, wherever I pull, interesting facts from. Another one is that this one's an interesting one. Let me turn off my audio on my phone. What are you doing? Everything down. Okay. So this is an interesting fact, just because it also ties in to the U.S. So the golden eagle is Mexico's national bird. Everyone knows what the golden eagle looks like. It is the bird that is on everything in Mexico. It's on the back of the trucks. It's on our flag. The golden eagle soars all over the continental U.S. I gotta fix something real quick. Bam, there you go. The golden eagle soars all over the continental U.S. and even up to Canada. But south of the border, the majestic bird has a special significance. It's Mexico's national animal and even has a place on the country's coat of arms. However, you won't spot it in much of the country, as populations only tend to get as far south as Guadalajara. So why is that an interesting fact that ties into the U.S.? As of 2 weeks ago, if you would ask anybody what the national bird of the U.S. is, everyone would get it wrong. It'd all be wrong because everyone thinks that it's the bald eagle. It's on our coins, it's on our presidential seal, it's on everything. Everything that has to do with America, bald eagle, the screeching eagle. Everyone sees it, right? But for the past 246 years, we had no national bird. We did not have an official national bird. This is knowledge that I couldn't live with, because I would have gone through and turned it into, like, I don't know, maybe a hummingbird, a blue jay, a mockingbird, something stupid. Roadrunner, that'd be funny. So that is one of the interesting facts that I came up with. Another interesting fact number 3. Color TV was invented in Mexico. It is true. In 1963, the engineer Guillermo González Camarena saw his invention, technically called the trichromatic sequential field system, change television forever, as Channel 5 aired the kids' show Paraíso de Infintal, Children's Paradise. in color. So next time you're admiring the details on your 4K screen TV, you can thank a Mexican. Next time you see a Mexican, say, hey, thank you for the TV. They'll probably think you're talking about a stolen TV, but who cares, right? And let's round it off with the good one. Let's see. Let's find a good one. Here's a good one. I like this one. There are still bullet holes in buildings from the Mexican Revolution. In the historic city of Puebla, there is a stunning house that appears like many of the other buildings around it. However, if you look up, you'll see there's bullet holes all over the home, a vivid and present reminder of the violence of the 1910 Mexican Revolution. The home belonged to the Cerdan family, many of whom were involved in the revolutionary activities. It's now an informative museum. That is crazy. That to this day you can still find the effects of the Mexican Revolution. So let's get on to the episode. I know we're already on the episode, but here is the script. So, see, there was supposed to be music and all this stuff, but whatever. So this episode is Haunted Haciendas, uncovering the dark secrets of Mexico's most terrifying estates. Now most of the stuff we're going to talk about are haciendas, but the last one we're going to talk about is a haunted house. Same thing, it's a big haunted house. This is one of my favorite stories. There's so much behind it. I'm probably going to do its own episode later on. So it's going to be kind of short because to this day, I've seen on TikTok, Instagram, people go to this house, like not even to it, like just where they can see it, and you can still see like things floating by, images. It's insane. This is the most haunted house. Supposedly one of the legends is that the devil built that house, and through like tornadoes, floods, earthquakes, whatever happens in Mexico, it still stands to this day. So we'll get into further detail on that another day, but for now, let's continue. So with the script that I had generously written for y'all, welcome to Spooky Mysteries, the podcast where we delve into the darkest corners of our Hispanic culture. Today, we're going to take you on a journey to two of Mexico's most haunted haciendas, where the boundaries between reality and the paranormal are blurred. Get ready to uncover the sinister secrets of Misimbalam and Cholul. I know I butchered those names. I'm horrible with names because it's always in Nahuatl or ancient. It's in some ancient language. I'm like, can we update it to some modern Spanish? Shit, some No Sabo Spanish. I'm a No Sabo kid. Come on, you gotta help me out. Some Spanglish. So story one, or part one of this story, whatever. The cursed town of Misimbalam. Misimbalam, a small town located in the heart of the Yucatan Peninsula, Mexico, was once a thriving community built around the lucrative hennaquen industry. What is hennaquen, also known as green gold? I actually did not look up what hennaquen was, and that is just dumb of me. Oh, it's agave. It is agave. The stuff we use to make tequila. All this time I've been struggling saying the word hennaquen, and it's agave. It's like the shoots of the agave. It's still agave. I should have done my research. Feel dumb. Okay, anyways, also known as green gold. At its peak around 1920, Misimbalam was home to around 170 people. Families of workers who toiled day and night to harvest the precious crop. Tequila's good. However, 10 years later, the hennaquen industry began to decline, and the hacienda that was the heart of the community started to crumble. The population began to dwindle, and eventually in 2005, it was declared that there was no inhabitants left in Misimbalam. So by 2005, from the decline, people were like still living there, and they were slowly either dying out or leaving. And it wasn't until 2005 that there was nobody there. The town was left to rot, a ghostly reminder of a forgotten era. That's a little bit of a background on it. Now what started the legends, the horrors that happened at Misimbalam? Segment 2, Part 2. The spark that ignited the legends. What really happened in Misimbalam? What sparked the legends of paranormal activity that have haunted this town for so long? The answer lies in a shocking event that took place in 1921 when the owner of the hacienda survived a brutal assassination attempt on his way to San Ignacio. His son, who was traveling with him at the time, managed to bring him back to Merida, but the culprits were never found. This event marked the beginning of the end for Misimbalam. The town was never the same again, and the seeds of terror were sown. So, the downfall of this was the owner, the guy who ran it, was attacked, and it affected him. Not just him; it affected the town. They call it the town, but it's Misimbalam. It's a hacienda, but haciendas are so big that they're basically it's an encapsulated town. It's a town with a wall around it, essentially. And that's where everything started to go bad. They're like, a lot of the times it's usually if something happens to the owner, if something happens to the people that ran the place, the top guns, then it's usually thought of as an omen, brujeria, like bad juju. You know what I mean? That is what causes it to downfall, and it's like a virus. It spreads. Whenever you have one person that's very, very superstitious, it spreads to everybody, and it causes a lot of stuff to happen. It's mass hysteria just waiting to happen, and this is what happened most of the times in these towns. So let's see what happens. Next part, segment 3. The tragic story of Julian. One of the most heartbreaking stories to come out of Misimbalam is that of Julian, a 9-year-old boy who took his own life after being brutally abused by one of the laborers. His spirit is said to still roam the abandoned town searching for peace. Visitors have reported sightings and cries, and an altar has been set up in his memory where people leave flowers and sweets to help his soul rest. That's insane. One thing I get goosebumps talking about stuff like that because I don't do ghost kids. The black-eyed kids of Texas, the ghost children of whatever, right? I steer clear of that stuff. And I did an episode of, I think called like Tiny Terrors or something. I can't remember what it was called. But it was over ghost children. And I hated doing the research for that episode. I'll probably do a part 2. The story of Julian is a devastating reminder of the horrors that took place in Misimbalam and the consequences of unchecked evil. Again, these things spread like a virus. Once something bad happens, everyone thinks that it's happening to everybody. And it spreads, and people, like I said, mass hysteria kicks in, and that's what happens. It's an unchecked, undiagnosed thing, and it affects everybody. And I don't know how else to say that, The next part, the mysterious monk. There's not much about this monk. He just appears. And then there's the legend of the monk, a figure in black seen wandering the abandoned buildings, particularly the old church. Some say he's a harbinger of doom, others a restless spirit searching for redemption. The truth is, nobody knows who he is or what he wants. But one thing is certain, his presence is felt throughout the town. Yeah, I wonder if there's pictures of it. I mean, I got the site pulled up, so let's look at Misimbalam. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. I want to share my screen, and I want the window next door. Share. So this is what it looks like. See, Mexican ghost town. We're not going to click on that because that's probably going to take us to a video. Actually, let's click on it. Maybe it'll take us to, a video. There you go. No pasar means do not pass. This is the entranceway. Like I said, this is all one building. It's essentially like a castle, but for the Industrial Revolution, or for farmers or whatever. But it was a big house with little houses around it. Like you can see another building over here, and there's probably like stables off to the side and a big pasture in the back. And what makes a hacienda is the main house, little smaller houses surrounded by a barrier. So it's its own town. It's an encapsulated town. Some of the looks from the inside. I don't know if I'd be able to go inside. Look at this. That's one of the tables, most likely. Yeah, that's a table. People were eating there at one point. And see one of the smaller houses off to the side. And this right here is a staircase. Goes up to the second level. So this was probably out into the field and you're going into the main house or the foyer. Oh, look, there's a small little story right here. A ghost said to frequent Misimbalam is that of the former landowner, Don Marquez. It is told that Don has haunted the town ever since his untimely death in 1921. In October of this year, Don drove from his home down a road toward Misimbalam with his son and one of his staff. During this trip, the car was intercepted by an unknown men who assassinated the Don in front of his passengers. Since this day, Don's ghost has been sighted throughout the town he once held dominion over. A swimming pool. That's a huge pool. There's a couple more stories, but we're not going to get into it. And that looks like the church. Yeah, it's a church. See? Without even looking at it, I can tell by the architecture and the way that is right here. Right here behind it was probably a walkway, but this is where they would have like a statue of the Virgin Mary, and this is where all the prayers would be, where the pastor would do his thing. I'm Catholic, and I don't even know what it's called. I'm a horrible Catholic. So this goes into the back, but yeah, this would be where it is. Another house, an entranceway. But yeah, this is just an abandoned house. It's huge though. Like, check that out. Like, all this is the property. It has its own well. Misimbalam, Puebla Fantasma, ghost town. Is that there? Ooh, that is cool. But yes, that's Misimbalam. Who built a modern home in a haunted town? Hey, more power to you. But yeah, that is Misimbalam. It's insanely haunted. I wouldn't want to go there. Maybe I would. I don't know. I like that kind of stuff. So let's move on to the next one. We have plenty of time to go. It took me like 10 minutes to get set up. Sure, why not? I don't know how long I've been talking. But Misimbalam is not the only haunted hacienda in Mexico. The ex hacienda de Cancabichen de Casares, oh my God, I can't read, located in the heart of Yucatan, Mexico, was once a thriving agricultural and livestock hub. Built after the Spanish conquest, this site was a testament to the region's rich history and cultural heritage. However, as the years went by, the hacienda's fortunes began to decline. The hennaquen industry, the agave industry, which was the backbone of the local economy, started to falter. The owners and residents of the hacienda were faced with hardships and struggles, and eventually the site was abandoned. I didn't do any research on this. Oh, I did research on it, but like I didn't pull pictures for this. Let's pull pictures for this. That's like a third haunted house, but it just quickly goes over it. I was like, yeah, it's only two main stories. So let's see. Okay, I'll share my screen with y'all again. And I'm probably sure I can find something real quick to talk about it. Cancabien. It's all in Spanish. Look, I'm not the best at reading in Spanish. Okay, so we're not going to do that. Wait, is this just another name for... don't tell me I'm dumb. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, bullcrap. No wonder it didn't seem familiar. It's the same one as the next one that we're talking about. As the years went by, the hacienda's fortunes began to decline. Blah 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 blah. This begins the legend of Cholul. What really happened in Cholul? What sparked the legends of paranormal activity that have haunted this place for so long? The answer lies in the tragic events that took place within its walls. One of the most chilling stories to come out of Cholul is that of the foreman Jose, who was decapitated by a vengeful fiancé after he abused his bride-to-be. The guilt and shame that followed led to a tragic series of events, including the fiancé's own death and the placing of a curse on the hacienda. Now again, if something happens to the owner or the foreman, like one of the top dogs, it causes a domino effect because it's a superstitious thing. They're like, if something can happen to someone so powerful, what's to stop it from happening to me? And like I said, it's kind of like a mass hysteria type situation where everyone thinks someone's out to get them when it's might not have been anything. But that's also where curses come from and things like that, because they think the land is plagued with all these things that happen, these coincidences, which some are coincidences, some are not. Let's go on with the story. The Revenge of the Ponds. Another legend tells the story of the owner's mistreatment of his workers, who were paid poorly and treated like slaves. The workers, fueled by anger and resentment, decided to take matters into their own hands and staged a revolt against the owner. The workers, fueled by anger and resentment, decided to take matters into their own hands and staged a revolt against the owner. They designed, they planned, and waited for the moment when their boss arrived after a road trip. After a trip he made and he had neither both feet on the ground, when the employees jumped on him, they beat him at will and without compassion. So they felt that this man was so evil and their mistreatment was so just that they just beat him to death. And I can see this because some haciendas, it's like the plantations of the U.S. They're not the best places sometimes, most of the times. Again, like the plantations of the U.S. The man was left lying down, and with a lot of blood spilling around him, the employees believed that they managed to kill him. They were already taking away all his belongings when they realized that the alleged dead man had a tail similar to that of a kissing, a devil. They were shocked. So much of the employees fled the hacienda. I mean, if you think you killed a man and you look down and you see a tail like a demon, I'm running. I'm not sticking around to find out what's going on. And as an owner, if I know my people are superstitious and like super religious, super superstitious, things like that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go to the leathersmith and be like, hey, make me a tail. He's gonna look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, look, just something that looks like a tail. And I'm gonna wear it when I go out. That way, if something happens to me and I'm laying down, it's gonna stick out and they're gonna leave me alone. And there's a chance that I can go and survive. Is that what happened? No, because only I am that crazy. Did they see a tail? Maybe. Again, mass hysteria when these things happen. Today, many people claim to have experienced paranormal activity at Cholul. Oh, forgot. This is the segment called Paranormal Activity. Including feeling an extremely heavy environment, seeing shadows and apparitions, and hearing inexplicable noises. Others have reported being pushed, feeling like someone is watching them, and experiencing unexplained cold spots. The legends of Cholul are a testament to the enduring powers of the paranormal. So that is that. Yeah, I mean, these stories are old and they're from a long time ago, and they just don't leave because that's the way that that things happen. Once it happens, it's gonna stick there. So that was. Let's get rid of this one. Let's go to this one. So this is Cholul. The other one that I looked up was the same thing. Like, look, check this out. This house right there. Images. Bam. Bam. So I was like, why don't I have any more research on this? Why isn't this? Because I did all my research and I got my script ready and everything. And I was like, that's so short. What was I thinking? Why didn't I add more to it? Could I just not find it? Is this just filler? Nope. It's the name of the same place. It's like a prelude. Anyways, Mexico desconocido, unknown Mexico. Hacienda de Cholul, la casona embrujada más famosa de Yucatán. So, Hacienda de Cholul, the big house, the most cursed and famous big house of Yucatán. My Espanol is a little crap. Yeah, this is what it looks like. The picture looks insane. In the previous recording, I said, this picture looks haunted, right? Like, there could be someone right here in the shadows that we don't even see. But I was like, but maybe it's just the way they took the picture, because it's black and white and grainy. Of course it's going to look haunted. Nope. Even full color, it looks haunted still. It's from a different angle, and I think closer up. Yeah, closer up and to the left. So back here is going to be where the trees were and everything. But that is the haunted house. It just looks haunted. Is there more to it? Yeah. People just take haunted pictures. Why? This happened last time too. You're still recording? Oh, thank God. This happened last time too, and I was terrified because that's where I lost all my audio. Oh, that's a picture from above. The roof is caved in. I would not take a picture there. Oh, they found something in there. No, thank you. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm about to go to bed. I don't need to look at haunted things like, oh, look what we found when we went there. No, that ain't happening. So, this next story is an impromptu story. We're just pulling this up out of nowhere. This is from murder.news. Now, this may not be the exact story that I'm thinking about, but the house looks like it. So let's continue, and I'll show y'all what this house looks like. I'm gonna read it from this article. In Chapultepec, Mexico, commonly known as the Bosque de Chapultepec, there is an urban legend about an old woman, her mansion, and her guests. The legend involves Tia Tonia, a wealthy old woman who lived in a mansion in the Chapultepec forest. The story goes that Tia Tonia was left a widow after her husband, a wealthy merchant, passed away. She was so devastated after her husband's death that she decided to share her inheritance, a large mansion and a large sum of money, with the homeless children of the city. After the children moved into her home, there are different accounts of how the story continues. In one version, the legend says the woman killed the children out of anger after learning they had stolen her money and jewelry. She murdered them by beating them to death and throwing them into the ravine near the mansion. Another story is that Tia Tonia poisoned the children because they were ungrateful and treated her badly. When she realized what she had done, she unalived herself by eating the same poisonous food. Similar to the previous two accounts, the third account of the legend is that Tia Tonia murdered the children, but this time she killed them with an axe. The children were mean and would take advantage of Tia Tonia Eventually, her patience waned and she snapped. After her anger subsided, she unalived herself out of guilt. The legend, according to USC Digital Folklore Archives, takes the opposite approach, claiming that the children banded together to kill Tia Tonia in order to steal all her money. The children then moved the woman's body into the attic, but soon after her death, they would be haunted by the woman's angry spirit. Eventually, the woman's spirit would drive the children out of the house and lead them to their deaths. From then on, it was said that the mansion was haunted by the spirits of the children of Tia Tonia. The legend has enticed many people to search for the home in hopes of having a paranormal experience. There are some people that have confirmed Tia Tonia's house is haunted, claiming that a group of students died trying to cross the bridge that led to the entrance of Tia Tonia's mansion, and that if you are near the house, you can hear the cries of murdered children. Y'all want to see the house? Y'all want to see this house? This house is huge in the middle of nowhere. And again, it looks haunted. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you live in, I mean, everyone's dream is like, a lot of people's dream is like to live in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by no one, the woods, out in the country, things like that, right? But this place just, it looks mysterious. Like, this genuinely does look mysterious. Oh, Alaska. Where's that from? Boynton, Florida. Nah. This looks haunted. This isn't the house I thought it was. The other one is a lot crazier of a story. But we'll probably do haunted houses in the middle of nowhere, something like that. There's one where there's a spiral staircase that goes all the way up, and it was built for a wealthy man and his daughter or his son or daughter that was in a wheelchair. And then something happened and they took off down the ramp and flew over the edge. And like, there's pictures of like, there's not pictures of the actual incident, but there's like ghost pictures of the body falling, and it's insane. That's one of them. And like I said, there's another story that I know of that's terrifying. But we'll go into that another week. I left it up to everybody on what my next episode is going to be. So if you would like to leave a suggestion, please let me know. I have something else set up already. So again, it is entirely up to y'all. Y'all can pick and choose. If I don't hear back from y'all within a week or two, well, within a week, I'll make my own. In a week, 2 weeks, y'all can pick. But I'm going to keep doing my research starting Monday when the episodes all air. And then we'll see what happens from there. So let's officially end this episode. Bring back my script because I even have an ending. All the way down to the bottom. Oh my goodness, so much words. Okay, cool. So I want this to stay paranormal activity, and that's all. Okay, so I left off the enduring power of the paranormal. Teleprompter. Pop it out. Bam. I messed up. I lost it. Hold on. Down. All the way to the bottom. That's the monk. Heritage. Blah, blah, blah. If I wouldn't have lost my place. Okay, here we go. We're at the bottom now. So, for conclusion, and well, let's do the official ending. And that's all for today's episode of Take Two. And that's all for today's episode of Spooky Mysteries. We've explored the dark secrets of two of Mexico's most haunted haciendas, Misimbalam and Cholul. From the tragic stories of Julian and the foreman, Jose, to the paranormal activity that haunts these places, we've delved into the heart of darkness that lies within these abandoned estates. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you want more episodes like this, don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. And remember, stay spooky, my friends. And I'm starting up a Discord, so let me know if y'all want to join. I'll post the link somewhere. I haven't done it yet. I'm still setting it up, and I'm getting the bot set up for it too, so I can welcome you and you can do commands and make a ghost or whatever, right? But it's going to be where people, like-minded people like us, who like the dark, mysterious, true crime, ghost stories, I'm gonna have a little segment, a little area called Fireplace, where you talk about ghost stories, like around the fire. So we'll have things like that, and we'll talk about different podcasts that do murder mysteries, things like that. Because I listen to a lot of that stuff. So give me your recommendations, and I'll give y'all some of mine. And I will see y'all next time. So remember, stay spooky, my friends, and I'll see y'all next time. Okay. Yeah, this episode's gonna be like 30 minutes. Later, guys.